This man that you see on the screen, Boxing Ego, one to watch. Now, I told you 2025, you were going to get a lot of the same great content from me that you've gotten over the years. But I have personal goals, so you guys can help me achieve those goals. Multiple ways to support in the description. One of the things that I told myself I was going to do on the channel is bring it back to, my grinding days when I had 1,000 subs or whatnot. And I also, with that, I want to give Ego thoughts, talk about other things that not everyone's talking about. Just move away from the clickbait. Like, not that I was like a huge proponent of that, but the game is oversaturated with clickbait, a lot of low quality content. And it gets to a point where you got people who are just basically, it's all gossip. It's not even about boxing anymore. It's about gossip and, Tank personal problems and a bunch of fights that aren't official, but lying and saying it's official. I'm not with that. I'm trying to grow the sport of boxing. So one of the things I told myself is to put you guys on to some of the up and comers that you should be checking for that need to be platformed. This man you see on the screen, Ernesto Tito Mercado. I've been watching him for a while, pause, and I want to bring this series back because I like what he's doing. And I'm going to get into some of it and reasons why. So I don't know who he was with before. He was kind of independent or whatever. Eddie Hearn picked him up and signed him to Rematch Room. And I was like, oh, that's a good pickup because I had been watching. He had knocked out Hammer and Hank Lundy and stuff. So I've been checking for him. See, there's a lot of research that I do independently that don't always make it to the videos. That's why I said I'm trying to get better with that. And I like this kid. He's 23 years old and he's a knockout artist. And he just fought Jose Pedraza. Pedraza, you can say whatever you want. He's a veteran. I told you guys on my social media he was going to get clapped up by Tito, and that's what happened. Where he's at in his career, first fight with Rematch Room, Eddie Hearn, I'm not mad at it. But I would like to see the competition progress like from here on out because it appears he got the energy, he has the spark, the charisma, and the power where he's ready for bigger tests. Now, one thing that surprised me, because keep in mind, I got certain fighters that are well on my radar even before I bring them to the channel. I just be peeping the scene. Like I know guys that are going to get signed and, I've been watching them way before they get signed, things like that. Pause. One thing that surprised me is Mercado's fights he wasn't as on a platform like in a card like he was on smaller cards basically. So I didn't know what his personality was like. I never met the dude, nothing like that. So I was pleasantly surprised. To me, he has a real potential if he stays focused, and he could be kind of that dark horse until he, works his way up because he's not a champion in the division, kind of like a Maidana type of figure, right? And I think the game needs that. The game needs a bully in these divisions. And I'm getting ready to play the clip, but he was talking greasy to pretty much everyone, Shakur and Keyshawn included. And for me, I like that because the game needs that. Like I said, the game needs a bully. So first, I'm going to play what he said. And he was going crazy.
Ain't gonna do shit. Keyshawn got no chin. Shakur got no chin. Call him up. He ain't shit. He gonna get his ass whooped February 14th. He ain't shit. Bring his ass up here then. And I'll knock your ass out after. Ain't gonna do shit. Keyshawn got.
Hey, the boy is talking spicy. Hey, yo, that was a pleasant surprise. He said Keyshawn, Shakur, they don't got no chin. And then you heard, because it was the Pacheco and Steve Nelson fight, right? So Bomac trains Keyshawn and they're cool with Keyshawn, all that stuff, right? So they started chirping back in the crowd like, man, blah, 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 because he was talking bad about Shakur and Keyshawn, who's pretty much real close with that camp. And he was like, bring him up here then. Bring him up here. You come up here. I'd knock you out. Like, I ain't gonna front. I love the energy. I love the energy. The man is talking like spicy. Post-fight, this is what he said about Shakur Stevenson.
25 to look like.
I want that punk right there sitting down in the blue sweatsuit. I'll widen up that gap between these two. He ain't gonna do shit.
So out of nowhere, he beat Pedraza by stoppage. Good opening fight. Shakur was ringside sitting next to Eddie Hearn, and the DAZN reporter asked him, hey, what do you want next? He said, I want that punk right there. He was like, he ain't gonna do nothing. I want him. And he literally called him out, who's ringside. So he's aware of his surroundings. He knew Shakur was right there, and he called him out. Shakur got mad, said, use a BZ, get off my D, get off my D, get off my D. And Shakur kept repeating that. And he was like, if you listen closely, I'll play it again. He said, I will widen that gap in his mouth, because Shakur is famous for, having a front gap. He said, I will widen that gap. He's going to make it into a field goal post. You feel me? Listen.
25 to look like.
I want that punk right there sitting down in the blue sweatsuit.
He called him out. He said, I want that punk and change and turn his whole energy. I want that punk right there sitting there in the blue sweatsuit, which Shakur had a blue hoodie if you watch the telecast, and he was sitting like this, and he just directed his energy. I want that punk with the blue sweatsuit. So there was no confusion.
25 to look like.
I want that punk right there sitting down in the blue sweatsuit. I'll widen up that gap between these two. He ain't gonna do shit.
I'll widen up that gap between his two.
Yeah, shut up, pussy.
Yeah, shut up.
Look out, it's Shakur Stevenson. He's at 135 right now. Got a 25 to look like.
Hey, I ain't gonna front. He kind of a fun player in this mix right here. You know what I mean? In this like 140, I don't think he can make 35, but Shakur got size. He gonna have to move up to 40, you know what I mean? Or a catch weight or something. I don't know. But I'm liking what I'm hearing from Tito Mercado. Again, it will be very interesting to see who's willing to fight him and give him the opportunity, because he's talking greasy, talking spicy. He does have power, albeit, I'm real. I don't beat around the bush, and I don't sell you dreams. Shakur is further along in his career, and Ernesto Mercado, he has a record of 17-0, right? But he hasn't fought like top tier names, but 16 of them have come by knockout. So very interesting stuff. He's 5'10". He's orthodox. He has power. He's from Cali, and he's knocking dudes out. He knocked out, and the funny thing is he knocked out Nakathila, who Shakur fought, and said that dude is scary. He had a lot of power. Remember that? So they do have a mutual opponent, and he knocked him out in 2 rounds. Shakur went the full distance with this guy, Nakathila. And Murataya also stopped him after Shakur. So these guys beat Shakur's leftovers, but they did it more emphatically with violence, whereas Shakur went the full distance and got a unanimous decision and said I had to be on my P's and Q's because the guy was scary with his power. That's what happened. I don't be lying. I don't beat around the bush, like I said. So very fun stuff and fun times in this 35 to 40-ish category. And I want y'all to pay attention. Let me know what you think. If you know Tito Mercado, if you've seen him live, if you've seen something else you would like to add, drop that in the comment section. Y'all know for me, I'm the best in the business, and it's not even close. And I'll provide y'all with the latest and greatest